Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan. My handle is Wrangler. Welcome to Frequency Studios Weekly Wing at number 62 here on Rumble and YouTube. And starting off tonight, hey, Tim Allen's already in the chat saying, may the mead be with you, always. Well, maybe we'll get some mead afterwards, but to start off, tonight we got Billy Bob Sack. Billy, what's going on?
Kaplow! What the fuck happened to Readout?
What do you mean?
Aces?
He changed his name.
Yeah, what?
I'm Christianus. I don't know. Before he went on, people started calling everybody Christian, and I'm like, I'm Christianus.
No, gotcha.
Christianus.
Okay.
Spartacus.
My
Technically,
jokes
you're
are
Dusty.
really inside. Suck zone.
Frederick.
Point.
Identity theft is
Sucks
not
you
a
up.
joke, Christian.
Frederick, you can ask Frequency right now. In here.
Well, I was
Ask me
muted.
what?
Well, I would be repeating myself if I asked him in person as well.
Oh, I see it now. Who made the theme song? That was done by Chill Kid.
Awesome.
Damn, we got a full house.
And
tonight.
also here with us tonight is James Esparza. James, creator of World Without End. What's new for you?
Getting a lot done in the back end. Got a lot of advertisements ready to go because I have this lovely long-term plan. Working on a piece right now, but I eventually want to create a standalone Twitter account and slowly drizzle out information to get people's eyes on it, videos, music, lore pieces, lovely imagery, all that. I got a lot of it worked out at the back end, and I want to launch that probably going into next year, but I like planning way ahead. I got a story to finish first.
Gotcha. Well, as soon as you get that set up, let me know. You know, we'll share that all over the social media. And also with us tonight, Stormcrow.
Hello. Oh,
Uh-oh.
sorry guys. I had the flu for the whole weekend. I feel like shit, but I'm here. The flu cannot keep the Stormcrow from torturing his favorite playthings. That includes you now, Mr. Bouncer. Be very proud.
See, in that aspect, you are quite the positive person. And also tonight,
Yeah.
Maji Chan. Maji, how you been?
Hello. It's been a while.
Yeah, so good to have you back. I know you've been busy.
Sitting on it.
Say
That's
that
not
again?
Maji. That's the robot Maji. She's gone. They had to replace her.
Oh, am I roboting?
No, you're good. I'm just saying. You've alluded to how life's been lately, so I'm like, that's it. She got chewed up. She's a robot now. They replaced her.
Oh, yeah.
Cybernetics are great, aren't they? She sounds exactly like her original counterpart.
Well,
It's like she never left.
I would plug in my mic, but the cat's laying on it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Good reason.
Sounds like a cat.
Well, cats sometimes like to hide under the hedge. How's it going, Herman?
Hey, what's going on?
Come on, you can do better. You don't have to beat us a voice.
Okay. Hey, it's going great. How's it going with you?
Yeah, okay. And MD Boncher, how you doing, MD?
Was ist los on Fry? I'm awake. I'm conscious. Yeah. Okay. I'm awake. I'm conscious and unfit to be on camera.
Yeah, I'm barely there myself tonight. And over in the chat, I already mentioned Tim Allen. May the bead be with you always. And Andrew Campbell has joined us. Big ups. Thanks, Andrew. Good to see you tonight. So we are right back in the original spirit of this show. We have no plans yet tonight. So what's been on your minds, guys?
Okay, you need to get yourself a clip from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome where you have Pig Killer in the truck. Plan! We ain't got no plan! You just need to do that.
Well, I got
Yeah, maybe that scene from the first Avengers movies where Cap's like, wait, we need a plan of attack. And Tony says, I have a plan. Attack.
Well, okay, I have one topic that I want to talk with all of you right now. Nothing nice and violent, nothing like that. I have not seen the new Last Airbender show. I refuse to do that because I got a good Last Airbender show called The Cartoon. Beautiful little show. I think we can all agree on that. But
Oh,
for
yeah.
those
No
that
argument
have-
from me.
Oh yeah, for
For
sure.
those
Very
that have
lovely.
seen the show, what do you guys think about it? The reboot.
What do you mean?
I've
Well,
not
I'm
seen
not
it.
watching it either. Why would I
But
watch it?
None,
Is it out already?
Yeah,
It
I've-
did.
Yeah.
It did drop.
Okay,
I've
I
heard
have no idea.
reviews. It sounds. Let's see. I think it was Shadiversity talking with a couple of other people from his staff, and he kind of liked it, but he had never seen the cartoons, and the guy that had seen the cartoons was really frustrated with some stuff because they rewrote a bunch of different things here and there because they thought they could do it better. But it was like in the original, you have a setup, and you've got A happens, which leads to B, which leads to C, and then this is how they become friends, or whatever. And apparently, in this new thing, it's like, well, forget A, forget B, and forget C, but we're friends now.
Actual Justice Warrior quoted as the Uno rule, where we're going to do the opposite because we're different.
I mean, that's pretty much the standard these days. Like, the only way you can enjoy these remakes is if you've never seen the source material. Then you'll go, okay, this was mildly entertaining. I had a good time. But as soon as you've seen it, it just becomes frustrating.
All I can say about that, if you're saying
that
I have
sounds
to do,
retarded.
if someone says I have to do homework to go enjoy a film, I'm not going to that
Well,
film
now watch the
because
show now.
it's not worth it. I have never watched a single second of anything Airbender, and I plan to hold that record.
Okay, Tim Allen, I misunderstood what you were saying until I saw the second. The crud. He said the crud made it to the crow. He said from Royce it flew to Stormcrow.
Hey, no.
But I thought he was referring to. I think I heard they're doing a remake of The Crow, which just made me go, no.
I thought he
Please
was
leave something alone.
I thought he was
I
doing a
know.
mashup
Remake
of
everything.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and he was like Royce flew over Stormcrow's nest or something.
That got surreal.
Oh, speaking of which, see, where is he's got merch.
He does have merch.
There you
Go
go.
check
Buy his
go
merch.
check out his channel. You can get his merch.
Looking good.
Oh,
for you to
Wrangler,
support
thank you
mine,
so much
man.
for showing me that. Because you know what I'm going to
What?
do now? I'm going to make a straight tease of just me wearing the shirt and nothing else. And I'm going to be promoting that shirt, baby. Oh, yeah. Thank you so
What?
much, man.
Why would you want to do that?
Because I want to make Royce money, man. And I'm a Puerto Rican. I'm exploitable. It's his fault for not exploiting minorities. You know?
Yeah.
I am an equal opportunity exploiter, sir. That's equality for me. You know?
So, what made you think you're actually going to make him money by stripping?
That's how it
I
works.
was really trying not to ask him that because I don't want to hear the answer.
I don't need the
Well, that's
answer.
all.
I do not.
That's how it works in the business. You take off your clothing and people give you money for that. Have you not paid attention to anything in the internet, sir? Nothing at all?
Well, but it's only allowed to be aired if you're ugly. Remember, if you're too, if you look good, then the Twitter crowd will go, where are the organs? People don't look like that. No.
Dude,
True.
let me show you a secret with beautiful people. Beautiful people make ugly people envious. Okay? That's why they hate them. Because they know they can never be like them. So therefore, they do this like Morgoth from Lord of the Rings, actually.
And then the
They
beautiful
know they can
people
never
go, oh,
be
not
that.
good enough. Go
So
get
they try to
plastic surgery
destroy
until they're ugly.
Pretty much.
Guilty
Yeah, exactly.
Gearhead says,
They try
hell,
to
does
destroy
YouTube
them,
chat take a
which
minute to
allows
pop up for everyone else too? Thought the chat was broken. Yeah, it does that to me all the time, Guilty. A lot of times when I pop into a live stream, it takes like sometimes almost 2 minutes for the chat window to open up.
Steering things back on course very briefly. No, I've stated
no,
my
we're off
I'm-
course.
No,
No,
Hedge.
no,
I'm
no.
getting us
Oh,
back in
we're
the
off
lane.
course?
No, give me the wheel.
This is the weekly wing it.
All right. Since we're off course, readout. Here's a recap of what last night's stream was like.
Crap! I hit the wheel. It's in the bushes now. Crap.
Okay, now that we're on course, I'm going to take us off again. Did
Watch
anybody,
out for the tree.
did anybody see Dune, the Dune 2 coming out?
Wait. Here we go.
Oh, there. Pataya, there. That's where you belong. Make me a baby, Pataya, she screamed. Make me another sweet little baby, oh, Pataya, my precious Pataya.
And that was what happened last night on the Hetero Kid Media podcast, essentially.
I feel like I understand less.
Read out. Listen to me very carefully.
Thank you for
Listen to me very carefully. You guys complain about my degeneracy and my love for things unnatural, yet we have an author that wrote that into a book. You hush up now. There's a man that made millions of dollars selling his degeneracy to the world, and you tell me that I'm the fool? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Oh,
Be
no,
like George R. R. Martin, people.
No,
you didn't.
No, I'm sorry. Did anything of that touch reality?
I don't know.
That made
I'm
no sense to
honestly
me.
not. I'm not following here, Crow. I'm not.
Yeah, I need you to reboot to your last stable
Sure what you're getting
state.
at. Tim Allen says yes, they are remaking The Crow.
What?
Peter.
Yeah, they are.
Oh no.
They're gonna remake everything.
I have been.
That's the way it goes. Nothing new. Everything is old again, and it's all.
Why? The
You'll
main
own nothing and
actor.
you'll like it.
The main actor literally died for the Crow.
Wait.
Why
Are
remake it?
they going to have
Yeah, but he
Alec
didn't
Baldwin?
sign up to die.
Hold up. Are they going to have Alec Baldwin as the stuntman for the shooting scene?
Too soon?
Oh, actually, this is something we can talk about. They're charging him. They're charging him for the murder.
Yep. Well, they're charging him with manslaughter.
Oh,
think they're also-
and you know
They-
that's
they
because
drop-
that's because he refused to shut the hell up. That's why he kept on talking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't get the armorer to lie down and take one for the team.
Oh yeah, you know they were gonna try to pull whoever they can to throw him underneath the bus.
Nobody was going under that bus for Alec Baldwin.
Excuse me
Now
for
the
1 minute.
question-
My internet's really glitchy. I got to go tend to my modem real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, he's touching the modem again.
Oh no.
You gotta slap it.
Code for something?
Yeah, well, you notice her hair was it was colored something like when she was normally on the set, but then whenever she showed up for court, it wasn't strange colors at all.
Of course,
Now,
she's going to court.
my-
She's gonna fight for herself.
It washes out.
Now, my question for you guys is: do you think they're gonna slap him? Do you think he's gonna go to prison for this, or is he gonna walk away?
I don't know.
He's
Doubt
walking
it.
away.
Yeah,
Who's
I'm
bringing
not.
the charges this time?
I mean, they're still releasing the movie.
Oy.
What brought about the new charges? Was it new information that they found, or somebody different decided to
I-
hit it up or something?
Listen,
I
I'm
think
ready for
somebody-
a marketing campaign for that movie.
I think they basically told the DA they're soft on crime, and then there's being stupid. Charge him.
Now, it would be fucking hilarious in a dark way if they start the movie off with in memory of, I don't know who the chick is who died, but you know, and this is a movie about gun violence and safety, and you should turn over your guns immediately for the safety of your neighbors.
Nah, they'll just
That's-
avoid it.
Nah.
They'll avoid the topic. They won't bring it up at all.
In memory
think-
of done.
The question I have about the whole case, and this is actually more on the armorer than Baldwin himself, is why was there a live round in that gun?
It was a case of too many hands and not enough competency.
Well, apparently
I
she's
don't buy
brought
it.
live rounds onto sets before. I think she was on one where, oh gosh, who was the other actor? what was it? Face Off. The guy that was on Face Off, I believe it was.
John Woo,
Nicholas
Nicolas
Cage, and John
Cage.
Nicolas
Travolta.
Cage.
John Travolta.
I think she was working on a movie with Nicolas Cage, and either he about shot somebody or somebody about shot him because she had a live round as well on that set.
Hmm.
She
And I
was
saw a picture of like a tray with the different bullets on it, and they were like all blanks except for one, and the one was a live round.
what I heard about her is that she was working on a documentary about human trafficking, and when you do that in Hollywood, you pretty much end up dead 100% of the time. So I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised
there
if
really
this
does
was
seem to be a
set up.
pattern.
Yeah. So this could have been set up to look like an accident and have been like a total takeout. Allegedly.
It's just a mess, honestly. Like, I've been tuning in and out of the entire case because, like, we all know what's going to happen. He's going to walk away from this, and a woman's life got lost for nothing. Just dumbass and incompetence.
Well,
And
we don't know that
that's
yet.
not cool.
I mean, we could always be surprised. Things don't always turn out the most dire way.
Everyone's innocent till proven guilty in the court of law.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Unless you have
not.
certain political
Even
beliefs.
you.
And,
That's correct.
there are 100 caveats with that statement, Maji.
Nope.
These
No, they're not.
days.
No, they're not. Only corruption is the reason why someone is not innocent until proven guilty. I'll fight you on that one.
Tim, I think you're talking
Okay.
about that they're shutting down their movie club. I don't know if they're necessarily they're not taking their classics off of Disney Plus, but like the old school movie club, it's gone.
Well, what I find interesting is Sony is taking over the Blu-ray DVD rights.
Yeah, they're becoming the main distributors for Disney physical media.
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
shut down their physical media altogether.
Whoa,
You will
whoa,
own nothing
what?
and you will like it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ultimate
Kahuna, get in here.
Witnesses, you guys sound like you need a kahuna. He's going to come in here singing, dun, 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 my kahunas.
Oy.
Come on, you could see him doing that, couldn't you?
If he
Yes,
does
I
that,
can.
that, it will be hilarious. Our ears may potentially bleed, but it will
What's
be
funny
hilarious.
is he'll probably come in singing it with a bunch of Hawaiian words that none of us understand.
Well, now, Maji, hold on. He's
Making a spam sandwich with his feet.
Maji.
I
He
just
speaks
ate.
the island. He speaks the island folk tongue. I am an island folk as well. We can speak with each other. Okay? Okay.
They speak
You
the
gotta train
island
your horizons,
lingo,
Maji.
international island lingo.
You're not from the same island, though.
No, it's the international
we are
island
still-
lingo.
We're
I actually have heard of
still
Island Time.
people, man.
Okay, so this is not a joke. This is a real thing. It's called Island Time. You literally tell somebody 10 o'clock, and as long as it's between 10 and 11 o'clock, you're on time.
Oh God.
Nope, I've heard that one too. Island time is you go by the big hand. If you go
Yeah.
by any hand at all.
I
You
knew
said there you'd
somebody-
be there today.
I knew
And I have
somebody that went
few
on his
people.
mission, and they told him to be there at 10, and he's like, it's 10:30. No one's here, and the person's like, oh yeah, we forgot to warn you of Island Time.
Speaking of Island Time,
Oh boy.
Yama yama.
And punch.
Rhode
Oh no,
Island.
worse.
remember that?
Every island comes with cherry, orange, and lemon taste. So please, King Yama Yama.
Yeah, I can see why that girl didn't last.
Almighty King. Yama Yama. Rhode Island's brand of cereal is positively complete breakfast. Island cereal. Yama Yama. You can say it too.
Couldn't make that
This
stuff
is-
today.
No,
So
that was
beautiful.
a thing that happened.
I used to eat that.
How
Are
long
you
did
proud
that
of
cereal
yourself?
last?
It's still in
I
him.
think it was around for a couple of years, maybe. I don't know. Kahuna, when you get in here, you're gonna have to let us know what that actually means.
We're full.
Space lasers.
I'll fix it.
We're full up.
Yes,
Okay,
you
okay.
have no idea how glad I was to see those in there, because I made a big oops this past week, and I deleted not only my past week's worth of work, but my entire podcast folder, which included my thumbnails, all my little sound shorts. The records I had them in the computer were gone.
No.
I came here and I was so glad to see they're at least in the StreamYard's roster there. Unfortunately, I can't download it off of that. It only lets me delete it, but they're still there. At least we have the buttons to hit.
Oh, I'm actually got to bail. My computer's trying to force updates,
Oh,
and
I
it's
hate
gonna
that.
affect my internet. So,
Infuriating.
Kahuna can take.
sun has gone to bed, and so must I. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to stay, but everybody's cutting in and out while it's trying to update, and so it's hard to keep up with the combo. So, have a good night, guys. It was fun finally talking to everyone again.
You too,
Bye,
Madge. Hope we see
Margie.
more of you soon.
Good night.
All right.
Margie.
Good night. Okay, great. She's gone. Get Kahuna in here. No girls allowed here, man. We know those are the old school '80s fools. Let's go with it.
I don't know if he can come in yet. He usually doesn't pop in here till around a half hour from now. Anyway, he probably has. Remember, he's on the West Coast, so it's still early. He's probably still at work.
So, Fruit Islands was a Ralston product. It came out in 1987, but the very little I can find, they're like, it came out and then it disappeared. So maybe a year, two at most.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the cereal?
Yep.
Yes, we're still talking about the cereal.
And I used to. I was one of the few who actually was a fan of it because I used to eat it. I can't even remember what it tasted like. I just remember I loved it.
Hey, wait a minute.
Ralston had the reputation for having one of the worst texture flavor combos of cereal out there. You knew you were eating cheap crap when you saw Ralston on the box. I mean, they did the Pac-Man cereal. They did Zelda cereals. They picked every video game they could and did cereals of it.
Yeah,
They
I had
went
all those
after every
too.
cartoon, and it always had the same nasty corn, some other grain that probably shouldn't be eaten by humans, texture and flavor to it.
But
and they gave it the same flavoring and called it fruit.
But that's what all the cereals are. They're just corn puffs. The difference between what's in your cereal bowl and your cheese doodles is the flavoring they put on it.
Pretty much. Because it has
Hey,
almost
you
no
know what?
flavor.
Fun fact, actually. You know you can start a forest fire with Doritos? I mean,
I have
serious.
not heard this. I'm biting.
It's
Go ahead.
It's fun. The chemical compound made from gasoline is very closely related to what Doritos are made of. So instead of getting coal, you can just dump a bag of Doritos on your barbecue, light it on fire, and it's actually way more powerful than coal and wood. You can look it up on
Wait,
YouTube
so
if you want.
they couldn't give Magneto cereal for breakfast.
Okay.
Because it has
And-
iron in it.
Oh.
They're trying to be sciencey
That's
here.
my
Shit.
escaping, you know.
Womp womp.
Well, Cheerios now has poison in it, so
Actually,
Well,
it's
you know,
80
cereal has a very interesting history. I believe it started off being made by a man named Kellogg for his religious group because they believed in like lowering testosterone or some shit. So they wanted to give you like a real stale breakfast.
don't forget what the Reverend Graham, his crackers.
That was the cornflakes specifically.
Yeah.
He wanted to make it bland. It wasn't to lower testosterone, but to keep people from masturbating, because he figured if the cereal was so bland, you wouldn't get excited, because apparently eating cereal turned him on or something.
Yeah, I remember. He's not kidding, Crow. He thought everything.
Wait.
Your thoughts.
How was his wife that ugly?
Oh no! I know. Oh no!
He was
I know
that
what
crazy.
dog is. I do my history.
Yeah. He's and I mean, Road to Wellville. If you want to get a fictionalized version of it, that guy was bonkers.
Well, listen.
But he
At
makes
least he
a
was
hell
trying
of
to
a
do
frosted
something
flake.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you take it orally, not rectally. He was very fond of rectal insertions on that. Not kidding. Yep, he believed in it.
What do you guys think of the Deadpool movie coming up?
The what?
The Deadpool movie.
I was excited about it until I saw the trailer. The trailer kind of turned me off. Like, it's got that whole TVA multiverse bullshit.
Yeah,
And
I
I
saw
was
that.
like, okay, like there might be I'm going to wait to see what the feedback is.
You know how
I don't have Wolverine in his mask.
The Deadpool movie. And you know how the last one, the previous one, kind of had like this whole little montage at the end. I think what they're gonna try to do, like they talk about reboot. But what if they do a little montage of Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot of people are thinking that. Some people have been thinking that long before the Deadpool trailer came out. They're like, they should turn this into Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe so they can reboot it.
Yeah. I think that's the only option at this point. And, you know,
Hold
I
on.
love
Listen.
Deadpool 1 and 2. Like, I'm one of the rare ones that liked even the second one. So I'm hoping this one's good.
Many people hated the second one. I don't remember that.
I know, but I liked it. I liked it.
I
still
liked
had
it
a lot
too.
of fun.
No, I'm just saying. I don't think I've heard that many people don't like the second one.
I've seen
not as much as the first. The first was lightning in a bottle, you know, and that's tough.
I am a hardcore early Deadpool fan. There's no pleasiness. I'm sorry, there's no good Deadpool movie at all. There's no pleasiness.
See,
There's
that's
nothing Rob
what I
Liefeld
was saying.
created.
Like, when you know the source material, you're always disappointed.
No, they rewritten the source material and they went with the worser one. Like the original Deadpool was like Joker's level of dark, and they
I never followed it, so I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, well, he originally appeared in X-Force. I was collecting that book at the time it came out, and he was meant to be a throwaway one-and-done character.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they partially did. I mean, there's not really any argument against it, but they did partially rip him off of Slade Wilson.
No, it's not. I don't like that whole partially. It's
They
literally
didn't-
from the same
It was
creator.
They
who
didn't
said, you know
stop.
what? I like this
Then they
character.
shifted to that.
They did, but it's the third iteration. He's the third iteration of the third.
Oh, yeah.
character, of
Oh,
the same
yeah.
character.
Absolutely.
He's a rip-off of a rip-off of a rip-off from the same guy who created all
Yeah,
three.
I own that
wow.
one.
Okay.
I'm just
it's
glad
not a rip-off.
that
It's
they-
a third iteration. That's what it is.
I'm just glad they brought in Morena Baccarin because
Because she's hot.
Yeah.
And
All I
Nora from Firefly.
All I can say is that there's no such.
Who's that?
All I can say is that there's no such thing as a good Rod Liefeld creation. Period. All his characters suck ass. And that's me just being mild about it.
Yeah.
But
the
also,
thing
the
is,
fact is, Deadpool is a mashup of two characters, and one of them is good, and that is
Spider-Man.
Slade Wilson from DC. Wow, I suddenly am blanking on the character's name. Why is it not coming?
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke, thank you. Yeah, he's Deathstroke meets a junk D-rated character from the Marvel Universe known as Madcap, who constantly broke the fourth wall and could not be killed. But he had an insanity gaze. That was his other power. And he just came around and he did Mr. McSpittlick kind of stuff to people and messing up their lives with that madness gaze.
And I do believe it wasn't it Madcap that was actually merged with Deadpool for a while. And they retconned it as to that's what the extra voices in his head were. But I mean, originally he didn't do all that zany antics. Originally, he did pick up a little bit on his popularity, but they tried to give him his own comic and it wasn't keeping up. So they sent it to one guy who was like, they called this the guy they send the comics to when they're dying. They're like, here, take over the series, do whatever. We're canceling the comic. And that guy decided to just have him on the cover, look, kind of break the fourth wall, say, you, buy this comic. And that's where Deadpool started to break the fourth wall, and that recouped his popularity, and it took off from there. But then it did change one more time, as James said a few moments ago, because he had that version where he had the multiple voices in his head. Then they retconned it, and I think that was with Madcap. And now we have the current iteration of Deadpool.
Wasn't
And sorry, we have a Raven Kahuna just in from Elton John's garage sale.
Woo!
You know,
how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm here with my fabulous glasses. My beautiful woman back there. She's shy. Don't talk to her. Don't let me catch you talking to her. How you, ladies and gentlemen, doing here tonight?
You want to have a good time?
Ladies, gentlemen, Stormcrow.
I'm upset that somebody beat me to the Elton John reference.
Some fucking words that
Better than
you fucking
better than a George
train
Michael
me?
pool party, but only barely.
You fucking
I believe that's the dress code, only bear.
Huh? You tried to slap me last night? You really think I
What?
didn't see that stream, boy? You fucking tried to slap me last night because I had the temerity in your head to say, fucking Red Rising versus Hunger Games, and you tried to slap me for it. What's wrong with you, man?
I have no idea what you just said. I
Yeah,
love
you
you, brother.
were
Reality wild today.
But
But I got one thing to say. Goodbye.
Tim Allen has corrected me. His first appearance was in New Mutants 98. My bad.
Yeah, the X-Force #2 is the second appearance.
Okay, I thought that was his first. My bad.
Yeah,
Is that like a Kahuna guest appearance?
I don't know.
it's a cameo, Kahuna cameo.
He's having
A
dinner with his
cameo.
dad.
A cameo, yes.
Yeah, so how is he credited? Is that just simply a cameo? Is that guest starring? Is that special appearance? How do
We won't know until the night's over because we don't know if he's coming back or not.
Well,
It's
just-
like
He
Donald
needs
Trump
to
as
come
himself.
back.
I mean, he might.
He needs to come back and face Stormcrow's wrath.
yeah, I think Storm
Oh,
Crow's
yeah.
scared
Is this
him
a
away.
game? Is this like
No,
people don't care about those?
I thought maybe he was a little sore about the Fruit Island cereal, but
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, you don't know how the guy wanted that adjusted.
Hey, so
it was a drive-by.
It gives carbo packing a new definition.
Did anyone watch the Dune movie that came out? Dune 2?
No,
I didn't even
that's-
watch the first one or the original. I just never got into Dune.
We're going
I-
probably on Friday.
Dune,
I
I
didn't-
saw.
that's one series I really loved.
I
Mine's
read
Dune
the
too.
books up until God Emperor of Dune. I saw the first movie, and I'm gonna watch the second movie with my mom. Probably Sunday or Friday. Because Saturday, I don't know if you guys know this. Saturday, I got this beautiful gentleman up in there on the corner left as a player in my campaign called Deadlands. That's right. On Saturday, I'm going to be in the first time GM to this beautiful man up there. Ain't that right, Wrangler?
Uh-huh.
are you pitching
What?
Woo to Wrangler?
I really hope not.
Pitching what?
Pitching
Woo.
I don't get it.
Pitching woo-woo, maybe.
Okay,
Woo-woo.
moving on.
Long story short, we're gonna be doing a TTRPG in a scenario Stormcrow has built. So please pray for us. We're gonna need it.
True.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. It's going to be a family-friendly Western RPG. I mean, what's wrong with that? I'm going to be your game master, man. It's going to be family-friendly fun. You can watch it with your kids. MD, you can watch it with Bambo, too, if you want. It's completely family-friendly, I swear. It's going to be family-friendly. Okay?
Watch
Yeah.
it with your kids. Watch it with
June
your kids.
2,
How long
June
it's been
Part 2
30
comes
years.
out March 1st.
Yeah, remember this, Stormcrow. I've met you online. Number 2 is we will be probably at Dune 2, at least on Friday or Saturday. We're not sure which yet.
What was it? TT something or other? That sounds like total party kill.
Tabletop, yeah.
RPG.
TTTPK. There's what you got. Tabletop total party kill.
Everything is an acronym nowadays. I don't know what anything is anymore.
We're the military now.
Yeah, I really don't want to be the current day military. They kind of are not what they used to be.
Are you kidding? They're on fire
Let's
this
say
week.
that.
Oh God.
Yeah, we're not touching that one. Little too dark.
Hey, look,
It
Tim's
is.
using one of my favorite words.
Fubar.
Oh yeah.
My personal favorite is
All right.
Mohica.
I first
so-
heard that one in Tango and Cash. I don't know if it was around before that and they just popularized it or whatever, but that's where I first heard Fubar.
I'll
All right,
give you
so
a
quick
better
question.
one.
Mohica.
Yes, you've heard of that one?
No.
What is that?
Bend over. Here it comes again.
Yeah.
I got that from a tank commander. He also told me I'm a REMF. REMF.
I haven't, but I've watched gameplay on it. It looks fucking great.
Yeah, it's the Star Trek.
Snafu, that
it's
one
the
I
Star
know.
Trek Trooper game.
Yes. I haven't played Helldivers, but I've got a friend that keeps bugging a bunch of us to come and play with him.
Anybody try
listen, when
Prince
you
of
play that
Persia?
game, though,
No.
the original.
Not since the 90s.
Oh, you're talking
tried it.
on a computer.
Yeah.
I didn't even play it back then.
Yeah. I tried it once, said not my kind of thing. I'm not into platformers like that.
Herman, y'all didn't even have the wheel back then when you were a kid, you know?
Oh, give him some credit. If it wasn't for Herman, they would have never figured the wheel out.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Herman, you wouldn't even have this type of stuff.
Thank
Yeah, like
you,
clean
Head,
water.
for inventing the wheel.
That's right. Remember, no matter how high up there we get on the technological chain, we got to remember where it all started. We are all standing on the shoulders of fossils.
So, Herman, how close did they get the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, you know?
Not even close.
Oh, that's disappointing.
And you should have seen the poo piles they left.
Curb your dino.
Kahuna says, going to have dinner with my dad. I just want to freak everybody out and leave. Like a very colorful and obnoxiously loud shadow. LOL, love y'all.
So would
Did he say
Kahuna
he's
be
a
the
gay
light
shadow?
side of the chaotic neutral, where Crow is the dark side of chaotic neutral? Which I know you're like, well, chaotic neutral's the same thing. You get my point.
Chaotic good versus chaotic evil.
No.
Gotcha.
Those words right there. Thank you.
No, read out.
I can't
Read out.
English.
You're making it way too soft for me. I'm 40K chaos. Kahuna is just light-sided chaos. Thank you very much.
He's the Diet Coke of chaos. 1 calorie, not enough chaos.
40K chaos sounds way too complicated for my puny brain to comprehend.
You wouldn't understand.
We couldn't really understand you then.
I think there's a glitch in Stormcrow's
throughout
system.
the weekend, I've been stuck with Nurgle, so
Stuck with
that's
what?
not good. I'm being a part of
Orville?
the singularity, and if there's a glitch, then it's gonna be a problem.
I think the virus that took out the Borg is now affecting Stormcrow.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
He got had by the singularity.
Ultimate Kahuna says, I aim to be chaotic good.
Which
But
is
Malcolm
boring.
Reynolds says, I aim to
Chaotic
misbehave. Too much aspartame. That's true. Yeah, that's no bueno.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Stormcrow's interwebs has caught his crud. Yeah, it's let's see.
All right, what was our next topic?
We have no topics. Let's make one up. Here's one I was thinking about a little while ago. If anyone's interested, faster than light travel systems.
Yeah, everybody does that. Let's see what's on
Yeah,
the
but
internet.
how do they do it?
They go really, really fast.
But I want to know how they get the plaid.
Let's see. What do we got here on the What do we got here on Twitters? On the Twitters, who's upset today?
I don't know, but we could take a look at just what's flying around Fund My Comic. Is anyone taking a look over there lately?
No.
Then we
Riveting
shall.
conversation.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I'm still
man.
waiting for this one.
Yeah, it's supposed to be sometime during the summertime is when that might be start fulfilling.
Cool.
Let's see. Well, there, you know,
What do you got
just when
here?
you want to find a controversy to talk about, I can't find any.
Did everybody tire themselves out about complaining over Starship Troopers by now?
Yeah.
I lacked caring.
I hate it when they kind of do that when, you know, this property's just been there and some movie or thing comes along. Oh, it reminds you of that. Let's go ahead and
You
get
know what, Wrangler?
everyone's opinions on it.
Could always talk about
I
the
got a
Hugo
couple
Awards.
out of free.
Okay, what were
copies
they
of
getting
that.
pissed about
there's that.
Starship Troopers?
Wow.
Yeah, I heard none of that.
I don't know. I thought Stormship Troopers was or
Starship
Starship Troopers was all right, but I mean, it seemed like it was missing something. The movie I'm talking about.
Well,
I
that's
didn't realize
because
there were
of the
sequels to it, and I
pseudo-
just found that out last week.
Oh, the sequels are bad.
We don't talk about
Really
them.
bad.
Okay, so it's probably best I didn't know about them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it wasn't. I'm not going to say Starship Troopers was bad. It just seemed like it was missing something.
That's because the director of that movie didn't understand the book. And he's like, oh, this book, it's all fascist propaganda, so I'm going to poke fun of it. And to be fair, Starship Troopers can be pretty funny. I'm not denying that. But there's a reason things are missing. It's like, no, it wasn't promoting fascism. No.
Read
That's
out.
why a bunch of them are
The
dressed
movie
up like
didn't even-
Nazis.
The movie didn't accomplish its goal of even trying to take down fascism. Because for one, what are they called? The Terran Federation, whatever the fuck in the movie, in the
I
book.
think they're just the Federation.
Yeah, they're not
Terran
even
Federation, yeah.
at all. I don't know about you, but you don't have to be a fucking soldier, and you can still be a millionaire and shit in their world. Yeah. They're just highly incompetent.
Yeah, that society is. Oh my God, Deal Bob. Perfect question. Hunger Games versus Starship Troopers. Who has a better world building?
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, are we talking about the book, Starship Troopers? The movie, still Starship Troopers.
I don't think you understand how bad the world building in Hunger Games is.
I haven't read it, so I couldn't tell you.
Hey, I got that comic, and I got that book.
This one here?
I do.
Today.
Tim Allen, I don't hate the first two, but I hate the world building, but I actually do not hate the first two books. The third one, we're going to be rereading that. I hated that even when I was young.
What makes something like the Hunger Games popular?
Marketing.
Is that it? Is it just marketing?
Well, it was the appearance of the first female action hero. So
yes. The first female to ever female, you know?
Yes.
Now, you think it could be an interesting breakdown or a study, you know,
Look,
what makes this particularly popular?
You know why we've gone down James
listen.
rabbit? Because several months ago, I made a rant, like I ranted on here about how something snakes just looks like the most boring thing ever. I went and saw it, and guess what? I still can't remember it. And then Billy, a funny idea. Let's subject him and a few other panelists to the torture of Hunger Games. And then we found out we actually kind of like the first book. It's not groundbreaking or anything. I mean, it's fine. It works its job. But then it all comes apart and catching fire. And then we can have a lot of fun showing. You see, this is how you don't world build a dystopia.
Don't worry, we're going to be on Mockingjay soon.
Oh.
And that one, it's not even a good book.
Punch balls.
Or decent book.
We can't whistle anymore.
Well, Crow tried to, then he started hacking up a lung.
Is that the tune?
Yeah, that worked actually pretty good.
So, Christian, you're
It
saying
should
that,
be
what was the name? Muhana?
Moana.
Yeah, that's all we know about your culture, Christian. That's all we're gonna assume it's 100% legitimately.
No. We know more than that. We've all seen Magnum PI.
That's true.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
The newer Magnum PIs, they're not bad, but the name was unnecessary. It doesn't. I don't see it as it's a good show if you don't think of it as Magnum. If you think it was a completely different show, it's not bad. I just hate that they call it Magnum.
Nope. Did we lose somebody? I think Stormcrow ran away.
Yeah, his internet's crappier than mine tonight. So,
It's more so.
Like I said, we're gonna say that Moana is just your culture. You know.
so are you Chinese or Japanese?
Damn it, Bobby.
Briefly mentioning on the Hugo Awards, I'm reading from The Hill directly, so take it as you will. But apparently, Neil Gaiman was one of the finalists that was deemed ineligible for the awards because since they were hosting the awards, apparently they were in China this year. They were focused on China, Taiwan, Tibet, and other topics deemed sensitive needed to be highlighted so that we can determine if it was safe to put it on the ballot.
Well, get this. It gets even worse than that.
Oh boy, I'm ready for this.
Apparently, there were whoever was setting up the voting. Apparently, they were fixing the voting. So here's the deal. China, it's going to be held in China. And China basically said that we don't want these authors, or we don't want authors that deal with these types of subjects. And so a bunch of authors who were, of course, kind of loud about their various agendas here found themselves excluded for no reason. Well, as they started digging into it, they started finding out that a few people in the Hugo Awards were sort of, kind of massaging the voting.
Of course they
Such
were.
That what? The Hugo vote was cheating.
Yeah.
Is massaging another term for fortifying?
Yes, fortifying the votes.
Securing it.
Yeah. So as to make sure that certain people didn't even make it to there, so China couldn't object to them being there.
Of course. The
almighty
dollar bill.
Yeah, but now this brings up the specter of an event called Sad Puppies, which was Larry Correia and the crew had basically organized a bunch of voters who had sent in ballots which was legal, to get them to get some of these conservative or right wing authors to be nominated.
Nice.
And of course, they didn't make it in, and the immediate charge was, okay, they're rigging the vote. And they were told, no, that's not the case, and blah, 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 and yada, 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 and this is how things all worked out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now we're finding out that this has all happened a second time.
Oh, I'm sure.
And strangely enough, they managed to trace down the exact people who were sort of like tossing votes.
Oh, good.
Go on.
And now all of a sudden they don't want to talk about it no more.
Well, of course, because they're in deep doo-doo. It's the same thing that the New York Times bestseller list ran into. They started curating it for their people to win and the people that they wanted to win that fit their agenda, and then they got busted on it and they got dragged into court where they had to admit that basically it isn't really sales that determines who's on the bestsellers list. It's who their editorial choices are.
Exactly.
And that basically violates the concept of best seller.
Wasn't John De La Rose just doing something on this last week?
Probably,
yeah.
I don't know. Nothing new, though. At this point, most of these ceremonies and things been around forever. I assume all of them are rigged to some extent.
If there's money involved, it's usually rigged nowadays.
Let's see if I
To
can
be
actually.
fair, is
Not to
if
be
you
too
like
bad.
see a Hugo Awards, do you honestly take those winning seriously, even before knowing they were full of shit? You know,
Oh, I
Not since the 80s.
I mean,
Those
the
once
only
a
one
time.
that I consider like legit deserved the Hugo Award or nomination, whatever, was what's his name? The guy who wrote Children of Time, Adrian Tchaikovsky or something. I don't know if any of you. I don't know if any of you ever read Children of Time.
Not
Great
familiar.
Never heard of it.
All right, basic premise.
You don't have to.
Okay, so let's see if I can find. Let me see if I can actually find it because there was a whole discussion about this.
Really. So it's big. This is a big one then, because I'm not really
Yeah.
big on the award ceremony front. So
Well, I don't
I'm-
really give a
I'm
crap
not.
about them either, but it's the thing. I like collecting all these receipts. Every time people call us crazy, you know, they're like, "Oh, you're just making this stuff up. It's just fine. It's the most serious thing ever." I like collecting these receipts of all these elections from a wide variety of different topics, just in case.
But apparently, Larry Correa and George R. R. Martin had a bunch of had a big back and forth about it.
Oh, they
So,
talked about it.
yeah. So I mean, this is like back in like the 2014, 2015, and so, yeah. But now I can't find the exact specifics of it, but. They were saying that there was, basically we're saying there was no big deal. This is how it works, and you're just mad because you didn't get the votes and all that other stuff, and all of a sudden, now here we are. We're finding out that votes are being kind of massaged.
Yeah, of course.
Except this time it's China, and this time it's their ox being gored, not Larry Korea.
Yeah, and nowadays I think it's become just a standard assumption that everything is rigged.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, until they prove otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much the assumption you have to go on. And okay, fine, prove me wrong. I'll be happy to be proved wrong. But,
Yeah, that would be nice. I would like that.
And on that note, I'm going to have to bail early, guys. So I'm gonna
no,
you don't care that much. I've met.
Well, have a good night, MD. Thanks for jumping in tonight.
Yeah, good
You
night,
bet.
MD.
Have a good night, guys.
Oh, a little find I found the other day. It is the last 5 episodes of Futurama when they first took it off the air.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
that's
last
an
4.
artifact.
I bought the first handful of seasons for like $20 each at Walmart, and this is the only little disc left.
Wow.
It's in there.
Nice.
Physical media, get it while you can.
Media. This thing's roughly 18 to 20 years old. So it's old.
Yeah, and it's getting tougher and tougher to get.
Yeah.
And that's our fault, as in general populace, because we took it for granted.
That could be actually a segment we add in, a little show and tell some of your favorite physical media that you own from possibly years back. You don't see a lot of that stuff anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that to show because all the physical media I used to have after I moved and moved again and moved again and moved again,
Yeah,
at one point I realized I don't have it anymore.
Just, goes poof.
Yeah, because you start prioritizing things, and something that was as ubiquitous as a DVD, you're like, you know what, I got to take this other stuff with me. I don't have room, or I'm giving this away to somebody who likes the movie because I don't have room for this stuff anymore. And then after all the shuffling around, you go, what? Oh, screw it, I'll turn on streaming. And now all of a sudden, all those options of buying the physical media are starting to go away. And they're not just going away as in streaming services, but also games. A lot of consoles you can't even put a disc in anymore. It's digital download only. And that might be then the infrastructure might be shifted to a point where physical media is no longer an option. So
That's what they
I
want.
don't know. At this point, if it's obsolete, grab it.
Yeah, I mean, I have a small collection of DVDs that I remember taking to college with me a decade ago, and they're still on that rack. I'm glad I still got those.
Good on you, man. Wrangler, to that point, real quick. I understand that
Yeah.
sentiment, I really do. But I'm that kind of dumbass that really wants to get a VHS player so I can listen to old audiobooks on tape recorders, like a
Oh, that's
Walkman.
cool. You know
Yeah.
what I used to do when I was a kid? I would take my boom box, put on my favorite shows on the VCR, and then put the boom box in front of it with a cassette in there and hit record, and so I could listen to it on long trips in the back with my headphones. And I didn't have the video, but I knew the show well enough, and I would that's how I would pass the time in car trips is
Yeah.
audio recordings of
I've heard
TV
a fair
shows.
amount of people do that. A fair amount of people do that. And into the 90s, if you've had a little VHS thing, you can press
I
record
didn't
on
know
your
you could
favorite
even do
shows.
that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I remember in the 90s, you would record your television shows on old VHSs, or if VHS movies you didn't want, you just had to put tape over a certain spot in the VHS to record over it. And you slip it into the VHS, and you hit play, and then you'd always just wait for the commercial so you could hit pause. You didn't have to watch the commercials over again.
The thing is with the digital media is you can still get stuff on it as a digital download.
True.
And
Yes,
it's
that's true.
so long as you have the storage space for it, and you can get media servers for all that stuff. You can just keep it on a disk drive and make sure that disk drive's backed up. So, and NAS network access servers, they're fairly cheap.
I mean, it's kind of what I do with Chill Kids. I buy his album. It's in my computer. There's no cassette that's shipped to me or anything.
Nice.
But I could take that and I could put it in a thumb drive, put it aside. There, I got a backup copy.
I got this fun little thing that's actually it's an SSD, but in the shell of an old video game cartridge. It was this old video game cartridge looking thing, and I kind of built it into I got maybe 20 gigabytes of ROMs on this old school games, and I keep this in the shelf.
Well, that's kind of
tucked away.
stealthy as well. If you want to
Yeah.
put some sensitive stuff on there, it's not suspect at all.
The thing about
Wasn't that the plot of a movie already? With
Will
somebody
Smith.
had it. Yes, it was an Enemy of the State or something.
Enemy of the State. Yeah. What were you saying, Head?
The thing about the thumb drives though is that they are not made to be reliable. So I mean they're kind of made to be sort of disposable. So you really want to get like a decent setup if you're going to like keep your media around the house. You're going to want to get a decent setup where you can store it like with something that has some sort of redundancy, like a RAID drive or something like that.
Yeah, even RAID drives.
Or maybe even an external hard drive.
Well, no, that's what I'm talking about, a network access server with a RAID drive. That would be.
CDs can preserve the data pretty well, although they also have an age limit.
Well,
And they're also susceptible to scratching.
Well, no, but the other thing too is that if physical media goes away, you're kind of screwed there because you won't be getting CDs.
Yeah. You got to buy them up.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Well, maybe because it's all about that piracy. That's the one thing that sells regards discs, the piracy.
What's up, Crow?
Hey, Ring. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna head out because I'm getting pretty tired. The weekend has been pretty rough, but more importantly, Saturday, man. You ready? I want to finish that character for you.
Yeah, we'll get it handled.
Yeah. What day do you want to do it before we start? Because I really don't want to leave you hanging.
Well, I'll contact you. I'll send you a message after the show, or we'll get it. We'll get the date squared away by tomorrow, and we'll get that finished up, and we'll be ready to go. Fu Man Blue has joined us. He says, "Wait, Redoubt always there? Oh yeah, he's right here.
I'm always here. I'm always in the shadows.
Back to the
Sure,
shadows.
because she is read out and read out.
And
Oh,
he's
yeah, yeah, he was breaking up pretty bad there. I think he was trying to respond and nothing was coming over.
Well, briefly, because we were talking about physical media, and believe me, there's a crap ton of physical media like laying all around me because I have no room. But two right off the top of my head, and I actually used these recently. I actually have one of the first DVD issues of Toy Story and Toy Story 2.
Look at that.
I don't think they're the first or anything like that. I don't think there's anything truly of value, but it's a little scary to think that these DVDs may be almost, if not slightly older than me. Definitely this one. Definitely this one. And here's the crazy thing. If this DVD is almost 20, 25 years old, it still works.
Yep.
Now, this one, I tried using it. No, it's destroyed. But that's because Toy Story 2 is my favorite of the original trilogy. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anyone,
I have these.
Anyone remember when Disney used to release their classics like only once every 4 years or something like that?
Yeah.
They used to be rare and on demand, like especially for kids. Like 4 years is a long time.
Oh yeah.
So,
But I've never been able to rewind the DVD with a pencil.
I can.
Yeah, it's a learned.
It worked on a cassette, but
you have to practice. You
Well,
practice
the,
on the cassette first, then you get good on DVD.
The thing is
Practice
that
makes perfect.
I mean, you probably always still be able to get DVDs, whether it's the old stuff. And actually, do you really want to get any of the new stuff and put it on and have it around?
No.
Depends on what it is. With the newer stuff, it's a much narrower pool of anything worth grabbing.
Maybe something that came out before 2016 on DVD, like a re-release of something. But
what I like about the new stuff is it turns me on to the old stuff. Like everyone's talking about the new X-Men this week, and I'm like, I never watched the old X-Men, so I got
that's worth watching.
Yeah, I got all the old shows, and I'm like watched 3 episodes in so far.
I mean, at that time period, the best things on TV, that was one of them. X-Men, the animated series. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man wasn't quite as good as the X-Men, but it was pretty good. Gargoyles, but in my opinion, the best show on TV was Batman, the animated series.
I love Gargoyles just but for a number of different reasons. One was, Star Trek Next Generation cast. But then also it just did a really good job of doing the homework on the mythology and everything.
Yeah. And yes, Fu Man Blue I have. Not in years, but yeah. When I discovered that was a thing, I was so happy. Yeah. Yeah, that was another thing, trying to figure out when the DJ was going to start yapping and play the commercial and the song was coming back so you could hit pause and then unpause and just record the songs.
I had a friend who recorded his audio on VHS tapes because you had a lot of tracks for the sound was better than tapes, and it would just last a whole lot longer, right? So you could like have whole sets of music on VHS. I thought that was interesting.
I never even thought of that one, but yeah.
I think the reutilization of old media would definitely become a thing. You know, old media becomes very popular again. It's a retro buy. Kids are going to start buying CD players.
I don't know about CD players, but record players came back. Records.
They did.
Records sell, I think, more than CDs do nowadays.
They do.
Records never went away. They just like were.
Yeah, I mean, my niece collects record players, vinyl now.
Yeah, I have
very
no
much into
idea.
that.
I have no idea why people want to have vinyl. I grew up on vinyl. I never want to see those freaking things again.
I used to get the little floppy ones in a freaking magazine that were square and you could put them on the record player.
I hated those things.
I think a lot of it comes down to generally the younger age groups, including my own, since there's so much physical stuff disappearing because everything's digital. We're starting to have that subconscious desire of to own something, anything.
Wow, it comes with like a little flappy book that talks about the songs and the artists and they have different pictures on it.
And this is why I'm saying the records are popular more than the CDs now because the CD because the CD set's like very small. But it's like, okay, that's kind of cool. We want to show off, or like, look, this big vinyl. Look at this beautiful artwork. So I think that's what a lot of it comes down to. The people that buy it, it is more just to have it in the collection and show off and display it on the walls. I do listen to them too, also.
Flipping through a vinyl
Here-
collection is great.
I got into a big argument with some guy because the audiophiles say that the records preserve the true nature of the sound, and putting it on digital, makes it cold. And I'm like, dude, you are so full of crap. Because
Does he use a gold needle?
yeah,
That's some hippie shit.
yeah. The
Sorry, but
response
it
is
is.
better than a CD player. Well, yeah, the response on the needles is good, if not better than the CD player. But the record itself can't handle that. Because
it can hold different ranges of sound, right?
yeah, well, what happens is when they produce a record, depending on the length of the record, they end up having to take out frequencies in the final recording so they can fit it all on the record. Or open it up if the record's actually smaller so that they can actually fill up both sides. So, but I got into this big argument, and they were telling me how I was such an idiot and I didn't know what I was talking about. So I actually referenced a Grammy award-winning producer who said, yeah, if depending upon the size of the songs and the content we need to get out of there, we need to strip out all these frequencies, this, that, and the other, which is the reason why it has such a warm sound. It's because you're not getting the full resolution of sound on these records. And after that, it's like the whole conversation just died.
Of course, they're proven wrong.
Yeah.
But that's how a lot of people are. They hear it from a friend who hears it from a friend that swears this is why it's the greatest, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that. I guess I know that now.
Yeah. So it's just like, and the other thing about records, because they're on vinyl, they warp very easily. So you get this warble in it if the record's kind of old or hasn't been stored perfectly. Oh God, I hated those damn things. And then the static and the popping and the fact that the needle wears down. When they made quadraphonic, it's not just that; it's the actual record wears out. Because it's friction. The needle the needle is actually diamond. It's like a ruby or a diamond, and it's rubbing up against vinyl. And guess what happens when you take a hard substance and rub it against a smaller one for a long
Machining takes place.
Yeah. So, okay. And then you get the static in there, and you'd have to use all these different things to get all the dust out of it. It just
Yeah, it's a lot. Sounds like a lot, right? Just
I
put it in the
love
CD
CDs.
player.
I love CDs.
You slap it in there, got a nice little cover, and you press play forever.
Yes.
How about them 8-tracks?
Oh yeah, those were.
I
great.
had one of those.
You had what, 1 or 3 songs on there? And that's
No, it would. You'd have
No, you had a whole album.
You'd have a full album, but it would have 8 tracks on the tape, and so you would each track would repeat over, and the way it would work is that once it got to the end of one track, your actual player would then I guess halt the tape or whatever and flip the head down and then start playing it on another portion of a tape. It was, and you hear this as it would go from one track to the other, you hear this and then it would start playing again. It was, those were like video game cartridges as twice as thick.
I had a Walkman who flipped, like the head flipped when you were done with one side and it auto played to the other side.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yep, side B. Yeah, people don't know side B anymore. Side A and side B.
They don't know side B.
B-sides.
Back in the day when you had to listen real closely and write the lyrics down yourself.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah,
you remember
I
that
hated that because I could never make them out. I loved cassettes because they had the lyrics in the little booklet in there.
Yeah, a little booklet.
Yeah, you ever heard that song from Emerson, Lake and Palmer? Was it Carnival 9? Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends.
No, I'm afraid
That sounds
Okay.
familiar.
Yeah. Well, that song originally came out on vinyl, and as you got to the end of the song, it would fade out, and then you'd have to flip the thing over, and then restart it, and then it would fade back in and it would keep playing. Stuff like that. But nowadays you don't have to do that because you get like 60, 70 minutes worth of music on one side.
Yeah, I mean, get a little MP3 player, which is already out of date by like a decade, and you can fit 500 hours of music on there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I ripped all my CDs and put them on another CD as MP3s, and I've got a long list of music for a road trip.
Don't you know it's supposed to be in wave format, mate? It's not in wave. It's not real music.
No, you got free lossless audio codec now.
There's always something new. Sometimes.
Yeah, well, I have an 05 Mini Cooper, so it doesn't have the newest stuff. I mean, I think it barely had that ability to play the MP3s.
I have all that stuff on my freaking phone, and I just play it through my car.
Yeah, same here. But the problem is, other than like the few songs I actually bought, most of it is like on YouTube or whatever. Internet goes down, access to all that is gone.
Yep.
And infrastructure it is vulnerable. I mean, it's been funky. I mean, the phones go down earlier last week and stuff like that, and you never know when you're gonna suddenly lose those connections.
I think that's actually a great investment. Anybody actually wants to start off their own like YouTube channel and stuff. Say if you have a Mac, right? Lots of people have Macs. You go outside and you get yourself a iPhone 12, which is what I did. I got it a while ago for about $200 something. Can't remember exactly, but I can connect to my Mac and I can use it as a wireless camera or a little camcorder for my Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a 4K camera on it. And it's 4K camera you can use for your Mac. A 4K camera you can take outside. It's a cell phone, so you can actually do editing on it as well. And you can put a little SD card on the side with as much information as you need if you don't even want to use it at all. So you can also use it for storage as well. And it's all on here, You can do everything technically to run an entire YouTube channel off your phone if you do that, which really isn't that hard to learn these days.
Yeah, I need to start a YouTube channel. I think it's the step one of making a comic is start a YouTube channel.
I've got one. I have a whole 93 subscribers.
Woo! Nice.
Another 909. No, 900. Yeah, 900. And, what is it? 7, and I can be monetized.
Ooh. I was monetized back in the day because it was so early, but I never put anything on it. Eventually, YouTube contacted me. Yeah, we're just gonna take you off monetization now.
Oh boy, right? Yeah, you're not doing anything.
It's not you, it's us.
But
I wonder what Kahuna's sitting at.
Did
the
anybody get
a little
wiped
over
out?
500 last time I checked?
He's popping up on my feed now. He's got shorts and everything. So
510.
Did anybody have issues with the AT&T outage?
Not
I don't have AT&T.
Yeah,
I have T-Mobile.
Same, and I was at home all day, so I had internet otherwise. But apparently it got a bunch of people scared and worried and stuff. I talked to the bullion guy a day or two after and was talking with him and stuff, and he said there are so many new people that have been coming into the shop since the AT&T thing. He was quite surprised, and most of them were just asking him questions about stuff because they had never thought about getting gold or silver before, and now suddenly AT&T is down. Oh my gosh, got to find out stuff. And so they went in and I guess he showed them like gold coins and bullion and whatever else and stuff, and most people's response was like, oh, this is just like in the movies.
Tim Allen says, wait till the sun nails the planet with another Carrington event.
Yep.
Andrew Campbell says, I just cracked the 30 sub barrier.
Nice.
That cracking, that's actually kind of a tough area to crack because it's like you're not big enough to get shared around. And getting that first momentum is a tough part.
I wonder what kind of channel he has.
The first thing I ever saved up for and bought was a dual cassette stereo. cheapy Sears thing, but it was amazing in '83.
Oh yeah, you.
Oh yeah, I think
I remember the
hundreds of copies.
VCRs, the where you put the thing in, it popped up and it had the big paddle buttons on it.
Oh yeah, old school. We had those in school and everything.
Holy cow. His Kahuna's Uncover the Hidden Potential. Don't Let Broken Things Fool You's got 10,000 views.
Nice.
Nice. Good for him,
Nice.
man.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
I need to get back on that YouTube game. So.
He's just got a great on-screen personality to begin with. So
Yeah.
yeah, if he keeps plugging away, he'll probably be one of the biggest out of all of us in the future on YouTube, because he's got that stage presence and he uses it well.
Yes, he does.
And he does a lot of editing too. He puts effort into his videos. And
He
got
does.
shorts.
I've gained a whole new respect for video editors. So far, I have
I appreciate
I have
that.
5 minutes of finished video for the project I'm working on, and another 5 minutes of just voice recording that I haven't put any imagery to yet. And I have a lot more voice recording to do before I go through and finish. So that's taken me a week so far.
Yeah.
Now that I'm starting to find a groove, I'm getting a little quicker. But
It gets
wow,
faster. I know,
but everything involved, my mind is blown, and I'm surprised I'm still trying to do this. But
Today
I
was
think it's going to be awesome when it's done.
Today I'm putting together an interview for somebody, and it's like they're like, take this 50-minute interview, make it as short as 40 as you can get it, and then tomorrow I'm literally going to spend the entirety of the day going through the entire interview I've already edited. Now I got to place images and video files and all this documentary-esque stuff put together, and that's just moving things and getting them in and out of the way at the exact point they're supposed to be, and that's going to take pretty much the entirety of tomorrow.
Yeah. Andrew Campbell says Clipchamp is easy to yes, Clipchamp. I said it right this time. I usually say Chip Clamp. I don't know why. Clipchamp is easy to use. Yeah, that's what I've been using I've been bouncing back and forth between that and OBS. I'm doing some stuff in OBS and taking it over into Clipchamp and kind of fussing with it there. And then, yeah, now that I've learned to use Clipchamp, it is making things a lot easier. The problem was, and I was frustrating the hell out of myself. I had over in OBS, you know how it's got the eyes on there? You can open or close it to bring stuff up on the screen. I was trying to read. I only have one screen, so I took my script, put it on my phone. I'm sitting on the corner of the screen. I'm trying to read the script and open the next eye to bring up the next imagery at just the right time. But I look over to hit the button. When I look back, I lose my place on the script, and so I have to start to take over again. Then I finally realized I could just record my voice and then add the imagery later with Clipchamp, because I found that little line underneath that says add audio. And I was like, wait, what's this? And I dragged my thing down. I was like, no way. And now that opened up a whole new ball game. So I could do one thing at a time instead of trying to do it all at once in a single take.
Yeah, live and learn.
Oh, nice.
This, to anybody who doesn't know video editing at all, if you're got like the most simplest questions to ask and you have a particular software, chances are, like you were saying, I have an image and I want there to be audio playing at the same time. 100% of programs can do that.
Yeah.
Just ask somebody. Feel free to reach out. I'm I guess you'd call a professional video editor. It's hard for me to say that word. It feels so palm.
I have a question.
I get
for
paid
you.
to edit videos. I'd be happy to help.
While we're on the topic, I got a question for you, James. Is there a good free video editing on Mac? Because I used to be on Linux all the time, so I know how to.
I know they got like their default editor that people use. I pretty much just used Adobe software my entire life that isn't free, but you can get a student license for like $20 a month, I think. I don't know.
You might
try, but yeah.
You might be able to load X onto your Mac system and then run the whatever the old editing system was that you were using on Linux.
KDE Live was a really good one, yeah.
Because I know Mac has, since it's built on something similar to Linux, I know they've ported over a whole bunch of the stuff over, and you can use it like a console on the Mac just like you would on Linux.
Yep. Okay, I'll check it out.
Tim Allen says, add to the factor magnetic poles are shifting. Yeah, they're going a little quicker and a little quicker. I think we're getting we're getting near that point. It's happened so many times in Earth's history, so I mean, it's gonna happen.
All this stuff, people always say, "Oh, it's going to end because of X, Y, and Z." If it's going to end and it's so out of our hands, who cares? Let's just continue down the road and try to end it as civilly as possible.
But it might not be out of it might not be out of our hands. Fu Man Blue has an awesome suggestion. He says, "What if we utilize quantum entanglement to increase the mass of the planet's core briefly to intensify the planet's magnetic field?"
Who cares? That's my answer.
You know what? Yeah, that is a hassle. The juice ain't worth the squeeze.
Who are you trying to save? You're already trying to convince us it's going to end. Then you're trying to save it all. Come on, guys. You should have tried that first time around.
It's time for me to bow out for the work thing.
All right, man.
Hopefully it will get done within 30 minutes, and I might be back. Otherwise, it's good seeing everybody and talking tonight.
All right, yeah, good to see you, man. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, take care.
Have a great night. Now, Fu Man Blue says, "Then we just need a forecasting system." I just see it as preparing for weather, and then do what's practical, and then do the best you can, and then and at some point there are things you just can't bother to worry about because it's out of your hands. You're right about that, James.
I have a question for the panel. All right,
What's that?
Because we were talking about you stumbled across something in a program you were using. What are the programs you guys use to get your work done? What are these softwares that people talk about? Where do you get them? How much does it cost you? What are these mythical programs?
Well, I've always been on free software, like ever since I learned Linux. So like people try to go Photoshop, but I do GIMP. GIMP does everything Photoshop does.
Yeah, it
Illustrator, instead of Illustrator, I do Inkscape. Inkscape even allows you to change the code on the vectors, ready to push it out on HTML5. So I usually have all the free software equivalent for that, and it's pretty much, it's professional grade despite it being free, contrary to people's opinions.
Very often I find that there's usually at least an acceptable replacement out there.
Yeah, I don't know if I could speak with a whole lot of authority to this because the only things I know how to use, and barely, are OBS and Clipchamp. OBS because Royce actually took the time. He sat in the guild and went through my screen with me for over an hour, teaching me how to use a program, and that's why I was able to start doing some things. And then with Clipchamp, as I'm learning how to use it and going, wow, I had a lot more options than I ever thought I did, and but. So I'm kind of finding a groove. I'm sure if I continue to do this, I'll eventually start looking at other programs and learning other things. Because I'm nowhere near your level, obviously, James, because this is my first attempt at a project like this.
It's all really what you're trying to get done with what you got. And if it's the first time around, I always say, if it's your first big old project, you're trying to get X, Y, and Z done, it's probably going to come out looking like shit at the end. But as long as you come out learning everything you can and saying, wow, there's a dozen new things I didn't know I could do. Yes, there is. And that's the greatest thing about it.
You're absolutely right about that. And surprisingly, so far it's coming out better than I expected. So I'm not gonna bitch. Is it as beautiful as I'd love it to be? No, not even close. But it's a lot better than I thought it could be. Right. And so I'm getting kind of excited for it. I can't wait to show you guys.
That is cool.
See, Fu Man Blue says, I think also, Tim Allen, there are some documentations that seem to come from people that witnessed the pole shift.
I gotta admit,
when it happens, I guess it's just like a day or two. It happened so many times in Earth's history. We're still here.
I'm glad that we're hosting the very first creative weather-based podcast on the internet. We can talk about indie stuff and the dangers of our ozone.
Hey, James, somehow we're probably going to be slightly more accurate than the professionals. Not to be that might be true. You ever seen how the weather reports are today? It could be anything here in Western Pennsylvania. It could be anywhere from 0 to 12 inches. Just say it out there. We don't know what's going to happen.
Your weather pattern's not too different from. You're not that far away from me. We kind of share the weather pattern, so you know that New England nuttiness.
Yeah, their new scary term, weather alert, impact day. That's the new one that's been around for the past 3 or 4 years. Impact day. Every time there's a slightly radical weather forecast coming, it's impact day. Oh, we're gonna have some wind gusts. Impact Day. Oh, we're gonna have some rain. Impact Day. That's what they use here in Pittsburgh now. It's so
scary.
Impact. What is it that hard to get ratings now? You're the news forecast channel. Who else are they gonna turn to? They probably got an internet channel for that now too.
If there's anything the Weather Channel would have loved, is if when Steve Irwin was still alive, that he gave up zoology and went to meteorology because they love to send people out into the middle of a hurricane. Could you imagine him running out into the? Let's see if we could surf these waves. And
who knows, man? No.
These man, days, you make a good point about that. He's like, it's a core cool down with the end it all, but the pole shift just means we'll be spinning and rotating to the pole. So yeah, if the pole's just hard set into a certain position and our tectonic plates just stop moving, we may be in trouble then.
Well, there's different theories. None of us know for certain, but a lot of them seem to think when it happens quick, and it is like it's over in a couple of days. It ends almost as quick as it started, and it's probably not as disastrous as people like to make it out to be. However, it doesn't change the fact that we just don't know.
And this is, kids, when you start reading Horton Hears a Who, so you get the feeling of what it's like to be on the universe.
But the fact is, it's happened in Earth's history. We know this, and we're still here. So
somehow, us humans, we refuse to. We're the only species that can create such insanity to entertain our alien overlords.
See, I had packed the bold. Yes. Oh, So going back to physical media, or not the physical media necessarily, but we were talking about the music and the records and all that. What are some of you guys' favorite tunes from video games?
Oh, dude, Mega Man 2 has the best fucking tunes. Like, I've seen like metal covers of that album. I still think that it's never been beat. Like, you can't top Mega Man.
I don't know. Streets of Rage 2 had some pretty banging stuff too. But the opener, the opening to Mega Man 2 was my favorite tune in the Mega Man series.
Yeah.
But I took another listen to the opener to Mega Man 3 the other day. I'm like, yeah, I think this one beat it out, and for me personally anyway. But yeah, Mega Man 2, Capcom in general, are pretty good with the tunes. Their Street Fighter tunes, banging.
Yeah, they had legit composers on their games. Like
they're whack. Yo.
Very well. I'll take it or leave it, as long as it's nice enough for the background while I'm killing things. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing in the world, unless you like doing that. Some people, though, these days are very, 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 very condescending, full of themselves. It's like every aspect has to just be like made for some masterful experience. And I'm trying to kill again.
Oh, I never expected I never needed the music to be really good. I think it was just a plus. Like we had fun playing the games, but when the music was like driving us along with that, it was just a bonus.
That's not overpowering, is it?
No, that's good.
What was that? Couldn't hear.
What?
What?
Huh? Get off my lawn! See, Tim Allen says, fell in love with heavy metal in the 80s and never looked back. But it's pretty amazing when you listen to stuff in these games, how many different layers to the music there are. I mean, like you said, they were legit composers.
Yeah, they were working with very limited hardware as well.
Yeah. And Capcom kept going. After the Super Nintendo came out, they released 3 more Mega Mans to the NES.
It's true. Yeah, I didn't play those. Our family moved to Genesis during that period. It was the dark days.
Old school.
Yeah. So, you guys familiar with the Mega Man 3 theme?
Afraid not. I'm not really, big into the Mega Man. My brother was, though.
But I watched a video the other day where somebody was breaking down music and they brought this one up and they pointed out the contrast. We got this very static, very plain looking start screen, but the music is just so damn good when it kicks off. And it's like, you got nothing here and this awesome tune. It's just like they don't kind of go together.
You know, my favorite,
This is jamming. What's your favorite?
the Diablo soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that's good.
The first one, not the second one.
I'm not familiar with the Diablo series. I haven't played it.
Oh, the intro music it's kind of cool and it's a little creepy and it's good. It's good. You gotta hear it.
Intro music, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. This what we're looking at here? Diablo main theme.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like it.
Wrong one?
Yeah, that's not it. It starts with a guitar. Tristram's theme? Tristram music? That's it.
That's the one.
Yeah, it doesn't sound ominous at all.
That's the music that would play in the main village, if I recall.
Yep.
Very haunting.
Haunting. That's actually the better word for it.
Although this guy's ugly mug doesn't really help.
This is great music to write like a dark dungeon delve story to.
Yeah, I could see that, definitely.
Do you guys have like writers playlists that you?
Yes.
Have?
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on what I'm writing, sometimes if I'm writing a horror, I'll even sometimes just put on some like eerie atmosphere kind of shit. Gotta get myself pumped up for the right genre.
Do you have like just one playlist for your writing, or like do you have multiple?
Multiple for me.
I have multiple as well. I primarily I used to listen to a lot of Glass Hammer, which is a progressive rock group. But I now listen to more Opeth and Mastodon and Symphony X.
Well, when I'm working on a story, I get songs that come to mind for certain scenes, and when they do, I put them on a playlist, and I just, as I'm driving all day, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the scene, or how I should write it, I'll actually put that song on and just let that scene play out in my head over and over while I'm trying to figure out the words to use in general. Generally the words to use, not exactly. I'm driving, I can't write them down. But then when I do that, at the end of the day, I get home, I hop on the computer, and I have a much easier time figuring out what I'm putting on the paper.
Nice. Yeah, I can see how that can help a lot, actually, get like a musical tune before you even sit down to write. I know I have a playlist that's literally just the soundtrack for an old MMO. I used to play a Korean MMO back in the day, just because they hired they hired a band to make an album, and they just took the instrumental version of the album and made it the game's music. It was pretty legit.
Cool. Yeah, Guilty Gearhead says warm and unsettling. Yeah, it is. There is kind of a dichotomy happening in this tune. Very interesting. I'd never heard this song before. Thanks for pointing it out, Edge.
Got a slight Middle Eastern flair to it.
You know, speaking of Middle Eastern, I've been playing Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and they do some interesting stuff with the tunes in there. It's like they'll integrate a warning sound into the level music. It's like, you know how music has that vocalization sound in a lot of games that almost sounds like there's a choir there, but it's not. It's just their synth. But when you're getting close to like spikes or something that'll one touch kill you, you almost hear this. It sounds like this chorus of feminine voices going in the background, but in a real distorted, spooky way. And as you get closer to the death trap, it just kind of distorts more, and the pitch changes, but it blends in with the background music. And so you almost don't notice it, but you're on edge as you're getting closer to this thing that could kill you. And it's just almost subconscious how it grabs your attention.
Yes, the proper music can really set a sequence in just about anything. You know, we touched on that before. And one that actually just came to mind is, anybody ever played the Payday games, particularly Payday 2? Because they had one of the things they did is they would release new soundtracks, and half of the fun was choosing whatever mission. You have all these various soundtracks, and they would break them down where each song had 3 parts. One of them where it's a build-up, one of them where it's slow, stealthy. So you can just have like this long, slow, stealthy track that everyone likes listening to. Then this sexy little build-up right before the action pops off, and then an action sequence of the track that is just so perfect that they literally released DLC that was just music, and nobody was mad.
Huh.
Yeah, so music can go a long way if you take it seriously in various productions.
Oh, for sure.
Where back when I used to sit there and think about how I would like to make video games, I would sit there and go, I wish they would make it so you could actually put in a CD, a music CD, and assign tracks to certain levels, so you could choose the tunes you're jamming out to as you're kicking ass.
Oh, that's a good point.
I guess there are probably computer PC games that do that. I'm gonna guess. I don't know, because I only play on the Switch. But
the only one I think of is Payday that does that, and that's because they let you buy your music, so you can all right, today I want to listen to this one, or I go on this mission. It's the only one I can think of. But that would be very interesting, because imagine, as an unlockable, you collect everything, and then now you got 3 new tracks. 3 unlockable tracks or something within the game itself.
Yeah, what's cool about that is it gives you a reason to try and do other stuff in the game. It's like, hey, this side quest is worth it because I can get this cool tune.
Yeah, extra achievements, not just the title. Usually, what do you get? You get like a title. You get maybe an unlockable level here or there. Some new weapons, some great in-game stuff. You never really get like a new music track. I don't hear about that. It's always usually like, if they're lazy, they're just going to add in some art they had on the back end.
Yeah, but Tim Allen said, Hedge, you need to listen to Iced Earth. Their Glorious Burden album is effing amazing.
Yeah, I've listened to them a couple times. They're just not my thing. It's just not my bag, baby. Yeah.
That's a shame. It's always nice.
I'm going to play a game tune, but also some guy that he does a cappella recreations of video games called Smooth McGroove.
Oh, acapella. That's interesting. Usually it's metal. You find a lot of these metal guys out there. They know how to strum. I want to find the rapper, the white rapper who does this. Oh, shit. That's Dan Bull. Never mind. I already know him.
This dude does it very well.
So it records every segment. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, anybody can technically do that. Just you got to learn music first. You got that background.
But think of the time it took. Like the lower left corner. All he does is pa for like 4 minutes straight. I imagine none of these are probably his first take. And that one in the bottom left corner where he goes consistent like that through the whole thing, I would imagine he had to chug a couple of bottles of water by the time he was done.
Well, yeah, probably. I'm sure there's a point in video game music, especially back then, when there was a particular loop you could hit. So I'm sure if he hit the loop, he could just set it on replay. Maybe for the you know, just do that for about 5 times. Just hit it on replay. You're clearly not going to do, you know.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
You're not going to repeat yourself too many different ways when you're making that little noise back there. I mean, I appreciate it. One's got a cat. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The cat shows up in I think most of his tunes. Like I think he has albums available. Is Smoother McGroove on YouTube? I suggest checking him out. He disappeared for a while and then he recently came back and started doing some new ones.
All right.
But this is Overgrowth from Super Metroid. It's my favorite of all video game tunes to this day.
And you got yourself the acapella version.
What amazes me is, you guys ever play Donkey Kong Country?
Once.
Are any of you familiar with the underwater level? The music in that? Because he recreated that, and that was like, holy crap! I couldn't believe he did that. He nailed it. So, James, you've been making some music lately, kind of, huh?
Definitely messing with some stuff on the back end with everybody's favorite soulless machines, AI. Seeing what's out there, seeing what I'm able to produce, and messing around with stuff. I sent you a few samples. I sent people samples. And at most, I'll probably use them to make some trailer music for short 30-second stuff like that. But I've been having a lot of fun on that front, and the technology is almost there. Give it another couple months, and it's gonna be pretty solid. It's a very contentious one, the AI, but you know, I use what I got because it works. It works.
But the one you sent me, I downloaded it and took it with me so I could listen while I drive. I mean,
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a compliment. I was like, oh, that's a compliment right there. He really likes it. He wants to listen to it again.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a tool, and knowing you and seeing how much you make stuff, and it's like there's nothing soulless about what you're doing, nothing at all.
And never in 1,000 years would I actually have the funds to go out there and hire a band to make any of this. So it's like, you know, not saying that there's not going to be those people out there who are malicious at heart. There always is. There always is, which is an unfortunate thing, but you know, it's
but there's always been a few in every bunch.
And every bunch, it's a Wild West, and then policing's going to happen. This next decade is going to be very interesting. But let's see if they can keep up with the growth of AI, because it's scary how fast this stuff is growing. It's hard to even keep up with it.
But I have yet to see something that I would really consider an AI.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean by that. But the implementations, the amount of progress we've made in this particular field is through the roof. Like in decades worth, like within the last couple of months, we've beat the last couple of decades in progress in this field. It's ridiculous. And there's a little something out there for everything. Like the other day, I was going to take this terrible Blade line. If anybody knows the movie Blade, there's a scene where right before he kills the bad guy, he says, "There's always some mother effer out there always trying to ice skate uphill." Dumbest line on earth. Really dumb. Well, I wanted to dub it with, "There's always some mother effer out there trying to eat ice cream with a fork." And I found an AI program by just Googling it that instantly separates the background tracks from the foreground audio better than I could, because I'm not skilled in that matter. I'm not that good at separating tracks. but it did it better than I could. And I used a separate AI track to, like, I mimicked the words I wanted to say and recorded myself. And it sampled my cadence, my tone, and all that. And it just layered Wesley Snipes' voice over it. And then I put that, and I edited that together in Premiere Pro, and I uploaded it to my little YouTube channel, just to show off the friends. I just wanted to show it off to Royce and Hedge here, because Hedge gave me the idea. He said something in the chat that just sparked it in my head. Like, oh, that'd be hilarious. But at this point, I could basically say I could make Readout's character say anything in that regard if it's dumb enough. Some motherfuckers always want to X, Y, and Z.
By the way, what do you have in your avatar now, Readout?
Oh, we're talking about Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes, yep. Okay. Because I looked over, I'm like, wait, that's not Dusty.
Yeah, well, the character of Phoenix, in my opinion, is far superior to any other character Snipes ever did.
Yeah,
but I'm
definitely
biased.
an interesting character right there, isn't it? What Mark something Phoenix was his whole name?
Oh, we just call him Phoenix, or as Sylvester Stallone shouts, FedEx.
That's a hilarious character, dude. That entire thing was.
What are you doing? Breaking the law.
And there's no reason to have. What was that comedian's name? Larry something that was underground eating the rats.
Oh, Dennis Leary. Yeah, he's eating
Dennis
the
Leary.
rat burgers.
Yeah, and he just does his own.
You see any cows around here? Not bad.
Yeah, Dennis Leary shows up and delivers one of the most all-time Dennis Leary rants in that movie also.
That he did.
It's been so many years. I know the scene you're talking about, but I can't remember anything he said. It's been so long since I've seen it.
That's how I feel about the movie Desperado. I could basically remember the entire flick. I could barely remember a line of dialogue in that thing.
Speaking of can't remember, there's something I was gonna say, and then I was waiting for one thing to end so I could add it in, and then I forgot what it was by the time a break came. Started talking again and popped back to mine, and now I'm blank again.
Was it important?
Probably not.
Probably not.
It was vital to the survival of our species.
And which one?
Oh, we're screwed.
That's actually something. I'm going to go ahead and give a woke Nostradamus prediction. In the future, the wokesters are going to somehow, in some way, be able to separate mankind into two separate species. They'd be man and female, and try to, non-ironically, propose the idea that man and female are two completely different species.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't actually either that or the other extreme, because it seems to me they're trying to make everything the same.
Yeah.
They want everybody to be this cookie cutter androgynous drone.
Because what James is proposing, was it James or Herman that said that? Because that reminds me of a book from the 90s, like Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Yeah.
They've already, that was tongue in cheek, obviously, but still.
And that's why I'm going to tie it all together. And I'm just going to mention, no matter what the Earth is going to do, what the sun's going to do, what the magnetic field's going to do, we would be lucky that if we all got off, and that was the worst thing that happens in the near future, that the pole shifts cause severe consequences, because we have messed up things so much as the human race that our climax will be very, very especially designed torture of our own making.
Lovely. And
I once saw a bumper sticker. It said "Earth first. We can screw up the other planets later."
This is true.
Yeah, isn't that kind of funny? It's like Earth is so screwed in the future. So what we got to do is pile into a ship and go to a planet where we can't even survive the atmosphere, because that's a better idea to switch off our scooter for something we have to.
This is exactly what I'm saying.
Can't we just work on our fixer upper and call it good?
Yeah, I mean, technically, we don't got the fixer upper. Mars is the fixer upper.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you have to terraform, wouldn't it be easier to depollute one place and completely terraform another? One just seems like less effort.
Well, we like to challenge ourselves by tying not only our hands, but also our legs and somehow our ears behind our backs.
Let's just go ahead and mine it for its resources. Let's go ahead and mine the shit out of it.
Nah, we can't do that. That's evil. That ain't good. Oh, mining
that's
bad.
fine. See, once we get all the mining off planet, we can stop mining here. We'll just stop, and then we'll turn it all into rainforest and shit. And then we just mine.
I would say
You're going to see excavators on the asteroid belt.
What was that, Frederick?
I was going to say something positive about oil, but that could get me some few years of prison here in Canada. So I'm gonna abstain.
What happens if I say something positive about nuclear energy?
Well, you're in the United States. You guys I have something called freedom.
Yeah, at least freedom of speech for now.
It's being challenged, but we still have it.
That sucks, bro. Like, how's this been affecting a number of creators out there who do stuff
Well,
like you?
that particular law has not passed. That's just something that's in the works, so it might not even get
Hope it
passed.
doesn't.
But they did pass a podcasting license, so like.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, some of that stuff is very retarded.
So how does that work? Like, does it mean you have to have an American host your show for you or something?
Dude, trying to police the internet is the dumbest thing you can do. I don't even know how it works. I haven't looked into it. What does it mean? How do you define podcast? Do you need to have an RSS feed? Is it the traditional definition of podcast, or is it any broadcasting? It raises a lot of questions, and these.
And then they can change how they enforce the law by changing the definition of a word.
They are so just dumb.
Yeah. Well, what do you think the end goal is there for you? Just more control?
Yeah, I think they just fear things going out of control. I mean, they're just building a large castle of cards, a house of cards that's going to crumble, and they're just trying to push it off because Trudeau, he's been brought to trial for a few different things. Like, the guy is guilty of so many crimes. Like, he paid this young underage girl like a couple of $1 million to keep quiet. So I'll let you.
Is that when he was a high school teacher?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So
and then he quit soon after that, right?
Yeah. And so the guy's got a long list of scandals, and he's just like running from one crime to the other. So they're just trying to stack the deck so they can stay ahead of them being thrown in jail. So they're trying to criminalize anyone who speaks the truth, because the truth is a threat to them.
The great them.
That
was
the committee of they.
That was a fun little in-world RP, globalist conspiracy group we created called Them.
Yeah.
Because people say that's what they say. That's what people say, and it's just
Of course.
the them, the they.
Of course. Have you guys ever played the tabletop game Paranoia?
I have not. But
I haven't heard of it.
I played that in real life, and it's quite fun.
Okay. It's one that's a lot more playful than Dungeons and Dragons or other stuff, because you start the game with lots of clones, so they function as your lives, and basically you start with the lowest grade color, and you can only you're in this kind of bureaucratic maze of sci-fi future, and you can only go in the red zones because you're red, right? But you have to find a way to graduate to other colors to have more and more access and more power. And then you obviously always get killed, and another one of your clones pops out. So one of the ways you do this is you capture a blue person or a purple person and steal their clothes, and now you're blue, and now you have access to more control and more power. It's a really fun game if you ever have the chance to try it out.
I heard there's a board game called Illuminati, and you can get
yes.
All these conspiracy packs to add to it.
Yeah, I had that one. It's so fun, and it's by Steve Jackson Games, and they were ahead of their time. They were the Nostradamus of tabletop games, because they were so right on the money of a handful of conspiracies that the FBI raided their game company, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, look into that.
I shouldn't be surprised, because when they're doing things like, to alter the course of civilization, I'm going to summon a comet. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's a fun one. It's a
Well, wasn't pole shift an option? Somebody could trigger a pole shift in that game or something like that.
they had everything, man. Like every conspiracy you can imagine had a card for it. You could buy add-ons, as you say, and it's just basically cards. So everyone starts with a different conspiracy, and then you have to get your control groups, and then you have your different event cards, and it's a laugh. Like you have a really good time playing with your friends.
Well, guys, I got a bolt.
Very well,
So
sir.
thanks
All
for
right.
having me on.
Give the plug because you got stuff
Yeah.
coming up.
Buy my book.
Buy his books. Buy his books.
Yeah, the Revenant,
Buy
and
them
the
all.
Tomb, or the Revenant and the Cult, book 1 is coming out late May. I believe it's going to be. I have it scheduled for May 21st, but it's going to be late May. And
Alright.
so buy it. Buy 2, 3. Give it away to your friends. All right, I'll talk to you guys
Buy
later.
physical copies.
Yeah, buy physical copies. I'll talk. I'll also be in Midland, Michigan, March 2nd and 3rd at the Midland Comic Con.
Oh, cool.
So if any of you guys are in thereabouts,
Are you going to stream any of that?
I doubt it. So half the time you can't get a good signal out of there anyways. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, it's Comic Con, so take it easy.
Yeah, talk to you guys later.
Yeah,
Night all.
All right. Have a good night, man.
See
Yep.
ya.
Yeah. Eventually, I'm going to have to start doing that. Probably is start going to if I can find any cons in the area, start looking into joining those.
Ah, yes, going out and touching grass. Oh, that's scary.
Right? There's definitely a few in the area. I put an AI song in there if you wanted to get a hint of what it can do these days.
Where'd you put it?
In the StreamYards chat. That's where I'll put stuff usually.
Ah, got it.
It's one for a character that I'm writing on the back end, one of my many characters. This was a test to test out the new AI.
In the shadows he silently moves. A master of
I think StreamYards is doing a thing to it.
Invisible
Is it compressing the hell out of it again?
It's taking away a lot of the background music, but it's leaving a lot of the lyrics.
Good idea. Can you send it as a file?
Let's see if I have a file because that's just right off of that there internet.
Because if you could pass that off as a file in Gilded, then I can drop it in the song thing in here and play it right in StreamYards.
Why does StreamYards do that exactly? Like, is
I
there
don't know.
a setting in the back end you can turn off somehow? Because there's got to be something for showing videos in StreamYard.
Have a great night, Tim Allen. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, good night, Tim.
And good luck on the sleep.
Yeah, good luck on that, man.
And Guilty Gearhead says, sleep well, Tim Allen. Or says, Tim Allen, sleep well. You want me to keep trying to play right through here how we have it?
Nah, it'll sound absolutely terrible. I mean, yeah, because everybody wants to show off music, only wants you to hear the lyrics. That's how it goes. At least those metal fans. You only want you to get the lyrics.
And the thing is, I can't tell when it's compressing because I'm playing it on my computer, so I'm getting it clear. And you're all getting it through StreamYard, so I don't know if it's doing that unless you tell me.
Right. I don't have this version downloaded, unfortunately. This is a test one I was working on earlier. So we'll do it later. We'll show you afterwards. Everybody can click on it or something. Look, go to Suno if you want to figure it out. I'm showing it off mainly because I know people out there, they're very iffy about AI, but it's a tool and it's being adopted. It can do a lot of great things for you. Turn you into a one-man production band. It did for me. And if anything else, you can create some very fun stuff. But who am I? I'm a terrible human being who is AI.
And you just reminded me what I was going to say earlier.
I'm a spawn of Satan, apparently. I embrace AI. I apologize.
No, I don't think so. I played with AI. I played with AI to create a script for a video game project that I put to the wayside. I'm not touching it for this project because I wanted this project to be completely from my head, from my hands. But I get it for the process. Like I'm not one of those hardcore that you can't touch it or anything. I just feel that you should be open when you sell a product. You should be like honest about stuff that was produced with AI. That's
Right?
that's my only caveat.
Yeah. I mean, if when I think of AI, I don't mind embracing it primarily because of how I've seen the graphic design industry, the digital design, let's call it that industry, develop from like Photoshop version 3, basically, is what I started using. And over a decade, this is just the latest iteration of tools that have forever changed the game and threatened people's jobs and people doubt about.
People said the same thing about Photoshop.
Photoshop. You can make portraits in Photoshop, people. I bet you didn't know that. You can make portraits in Photoshop. You have Photoshop. You had GIMP when that came out. You have a ZBrush now, and then you had CTI when that came out. This is the latest iteration, and give it 10 years, it'll be normalized. Right now, we're the biggest evil in the world. It's gonna be fine. We're only sour.
Well, automobiles once were the biggest evil in the world too. They said you're destroying the horse and buggy industry.
Yeah, well, I mean,
well, they did.
Yeah,
they
people
still
had,
are over here.
Yeah, they had what were they? The buggy whips and stuff for getting the horse to go and stuff. And when the automobile came along, nobody needed those anymore. So those businesses went away.
But I kind of figured they just all morphed into automobile dealerships themselves.
Out here in like rural Pennsylvania, there was like whole like farmer committees in the early 20th century that got together and tried to pass laws in the legislature to like ban cars from going on all these roads and stuff. They're like, oh, you're gonna cause noise pollution. You're gonna destroy our roadways. But we know why they were really doing it.
Yeah. I mean, and I bring that up because it's very divisive. There's places there's people I can't even talk to anymore. Certain little social groups on the internet, I can't go there anymore because I'm the evil AI guy. Like, look at you.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I am a little surprised that people will get that nasty to each other about it.
Oh yeah, it's
I mean, I understand the debate, but it seems like it's more heated than it should be.
It's because I honestly blame those who are going to lose their jobs. These guys, these traditional authors out there who are overly sensitive about it, and then a lot of people that follow them. It's kind of like the follower thing. Something happens to you on the internet, say you're that big creator, and then your followers, some of them are a bit more fanatic than others. Those guys, they have a hard time separating. And if you attack the people they're following, you're evil. And on a lot of other people, they actually do turn into a moral argument. A lot of the time, it's just a damn shame in my mind. It's a damn shame.
But finally remembering what I was going to say earlier was about the AI is we've all, for the most part, watched Star Trek. We see them in the holodeck when they're creating a new holodeck program. They're just saying, computer, do this, do that. And that's pretty much what I see with this AI is it's a on-screen version of that. We don't have the holodeck version, but it seems like it's just that. And nobody said that's going to be the great evil one day,
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah. Like, kind of, I suppose.
Well, I'm a programmer, and I don't have any problem with AI because I know right now most of what AI is going to solve is real easy programming stuff. You're not going to be able to do real complex stuff, and so granted that may damage some of the younger junior devs or whatever that don't grow out of that. But for a lot of the complexity that I deal with on a daily basis, I don't know that AI is yet at a point where it can figure code out at the level that I'm working on stuff. So like I've dealt with autocomplete code and stuff, but yeah, it can autocomplete stuff, but then it's like trying to do something as complex as the stuff that I work on. I don't know that it's ready for that yet.
I mean, I just think of it as it's just what we're calling AI is nothing more than a giant flow chart. You put input into the computer, it runs it through the flow chart, and it shows you what it produces after going through that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the one upside from the flow chart is imagine a flow chart that can learn from its mistakes. That's kind of what you're dealing with to some degree. And that's why you see all these new AIs coming out. People are excited about them. One of the questions I ask is, was it the first one? Because the first one is the one that's learning from its mistakes the longest, and that means that's the one that's probably going to end up being better in the long run.
Yeah,
Quite possibly.
They can't think for themselves. They are a giant flowchart, and it's an if-then situation, but somebody has to program all of that if-then-else stuff to figure out how to do its thing. But once that's done, it will continue down again those flowcharts, and in some cases it may decide, oh well, maybe I need to not go down that particular flowchart as often as I normally would because corrections and stuff.
So it's calculating probabilities.
Yeah.
But
Rather
it does.
than
But
actually
it said it doesn't actually think for itself. It's not making its own choices. It's not going, you know what? You told me to do this, but screw it. I don't want to do that. I'm going to make a basketball instead because that's what I'm in the mood for. You don't get that. If AI starts doing that, that's when I start to get worried.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the thing with my level of programming is that a lot of thought goes into what exactly we're doing. Now, granted, I could do a lot of the thought and then use AI to generate code or something, but still, I got to think through the process and figure out, what exactly needs to be done before whatever flowcharting happens to get there.
Anyway, we should probably get to wrapping up tonight. So, is there anything anybody else wants to bring up before we close it out?
I'm good.
Nope, there's nothing left in my brain.
All right. Well, read out. No, even though your brain may be empty, tell us about it. What's coming from your mind?
Oh, that's a horrifying question. So, there's many things right now. If you did not see it already, we had a live stream on the Heterocromedia podcast. That's my pop culture channel that I've greatly neglected the past few months, but I'm going to try to get work on it. Yeah, me, Billy Bob, Kahuna, and the Lord Otter, we talked about Catching Fire, the sequel to Hunger Games. Why? Because we are gluttons for punishment. So if you want to go listen to us talk about that and all sorts of craziness, check out the Heterocromedia podcast. And of course, if you want some non-fiction storytelling, tales from our past, be sure to check out my main channel, Readout Productions.
All right. Links in the description. Raven Nevermore.
Yeah, currently I've been doing a lot of research on gold and silver throughout history and stuff, and hopefully I will be able to turn that into something useful. But that's what I've been busy with. And then I've been going through and reading I'm probably behind on the IronAge what is it, IronAge Media, the magazines that they've been putting out.
Yep.
Yeah, Anvil magazine is what it's called. Yeah.
I was about to grab one, but I have them over there instead of here tonight. So.
Yep, I'm getting into number 2, and so I'm pretty sure I'm pretty far behind.
Number 3 hasn't come out yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. However, in the description is a link to IronAge Media. I think it's just below Maji's link. So you can go over there and you can find yourself a way to Anvil. Check it out. You got a lot of different indie authors in there who've written short stories and some comics. And James, weren't you involved a little bit in that process?
The short story writing?
No, the layout. I thought you assisted them a little bit with the first magazine on that.
I did a single advertisement for Anvil, the very first issue, the Kikomon ad. I was the one that did it.
Kikomon! We haven't seen him in a while. I mean, he popped up in the guild a little bit the other day, but he's been busy. He hasn't been around as much lately. I miss him. He was always a blast.
We'll have to poke at him.
And Frederick.
Yeah, speaking of Anvil, I have an 8-page comic in Anvil number 3, and I'm working on Rattel number 1, which is on the drawing table as I speak. Page 5 is where I'm at. And I've been discovering this week Noster, the censorship-resistant Twitter. So if you guys, I can zoom this in a little bit. So I am on Noster now, if you want to follow me there, and that's it.
Hold on. What's Noster?
So Noster is like Twitter, but you know how Twitter, you can get shadow banned, you can get canceled, you can get your account frozen. Noster, no one can do that. So instead of having an account, you have a cryptographic key. So you have a public key and a private key. So you share your public key for people who want to follow you, and your private key is what authenticates you. So if your software ever wants to block you, you take your private key and you go to another software, and you just continue on with without any hindrance.
Cool.
That name makes me think of Napster.
I was thinking that too. I was like, all right. And currently, I am working on a video project. It's going to be covering Private American, the graphic novel. It's going to be a full spoiler coverage video, and hopefully I'm going to have that out to you in the next week or two. I know I haven't posted clips or anything in the last couple months, but I hopefully this will be worth the wait, and you're going to have a good video to look forward to. It's going to be a lot of fun going right into the full details of the comic. So yeah, go check that out before it comes out. It's a good read. It's worth getting into.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh, cool. At some point, we're going to have to do a discussion video with those who have read it. I think Kahuna wants to talk about it because he's got a copy of it. And yeah, I'm interested. I can't wait for the next one to come out, but don't know when. But also, now is a good time to catch up on Haley Star Bad Kitty, because in a couple of months, Bad Kitty, Haley's World, the follow-up, is going to be bigger. It's coming, and it's going to be a good time, so check that out. Also, this dancing logo you guys usually see all the time right here. I just want to point it out again, this one. Thank you, James. I still like that. I don't get tired of it. It fits perfectly, and yeah, graphic design. James is your guy. So if
and motion graphic artist as well, they got all these sub names for everything. Videography, photography, motion graphics artist, graphic design, general asshole, all of them.
James made my logo, and then he went and tagged on the motion graphic. And then the music that you're hearing by Chill Kid, I sent that to him, and he put. So yeah, he's very talented, and I appreciate everything you did.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right, and one last time, let's check on who's in the chat before we wrap it up here. So we got Guilty Gearhead still hanging around.
He's there still.
Did you catch fire when you read it?
Oh boy, right.
Yeah, somewhat. I will only be cinders when we get to Mockingjay. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks, everyone, for coming in and for hanging out. It was a good time. If you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like, and if you didn't, appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time, and God bless.
Later, guys.
Bye-bye, Internet. Good luck.
Good night.
Next thing you got to learn is to make that thing full screen.
Make it what?
Make it full screen.
Yeah, it used to, and it doesn't anymore. I mean, it always showed like the smaller block on our end, but on the YouTube side, it looked like it was the full screen. But now it does this weird double overlap or whatever.
I'm wondering if it's a StreamYard issue.
I think so, because I didn't change anything. It changed on its own.
Yeah. When will you work?
I never learn. Have a good night, everybody. Oh, I almost forgot. Wow, I almost left without doing this.
Jewish space lasers.
Where's the button?
Okay, now I can go. Good night, everybody.